ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
StephenASmith is known for speaking his mind, but this time, he did more than just share an opinion. He sparked a major controversy. His sharp criticism of the WNBA's handling of Caitlin Clark wasn't just another bold remark, it was a wake-up call. At the heart of his argument? The league's failure to fully support and maximize the potential of its most exciting new star.
Rather, you were a bit hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so you had people like Cheryl Swoops who didn't even want to mention her name.
Imagine this, a player so electrifying, so marketable, that she's filling arenas and shattering TV rating records. Caitlin Clark isn't just a great athlete, she's a game changer, the kind of talent who could take women's basketball to the next level. But instead of seizing the moment, the WNBA's response has been surprisingly underwhelming. Fans can't help but ask, is the league truly committed to expanding its brand?
Then are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark? So therefore even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're gonna do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point?
But Smith didn't just highlight missed opportunities, he sounded the alarm on what's at stake. The WNBA is at a crucial turning point, one that could shape its future for years. If the league mishandles Caitlin Clark's rise, it risks squandering its best shot at reaching a wider audience. What happens if they keep downplaying her influence? How do they justify not fully embracing the most marketable star to enter the league in decades?
And everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
When StephenASmith speaks, people listen. It's never just talk, it's a moment that shifts the conversation. This time, his fiery critique took direct aim at the WNBA, calling out both Commissioner Kathy Engelbert and some veteran players. His frustration was clear as he broke down how the league has failed to fully embrace Caitlin Clark, a player whose performances have exceeded expectations and brought a new level of excitement to the game.
But if you went the opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
Look at how Caitlin Clark's historic achievements have been treated, or rather, overlooked. She's racked up major honors: Forbes 30 Under 30, SBJ Sports Person of the Year, AP Female Athlete of the Year, and Time Athlete of the Year. She's also taken it upon herself to elevate women's sports through high-profile appearances and speaking engagements. And how did the WNBA respond? Silence. Instead of using these moments to showcase the game's growing popularity, the league barely acknowledged them, missing a huge opportunity to amplify Clark's impact. Then there's how her Rookie of the Year award was handled. Other players received grand celebrations for their milestones, but Clark? Just a routine phone call. No major announcement, no big production, another wasted moment. Fans saw the difference, and they didn't stay quiet about it. Clark has done more to bring new attention to the WNBA than any player in recent history, yet the league seems reluctant to give her the spotlight she's already earned.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
The real question is, why? Why is the WNBA hesitating to fully promote the one player who could redefine its future? And more importantly, how long can they keep making the same mistakes before it costs them everything? StephenASmith's fiery critique wasn't just another headline, it was a reflection of what fans and analysts have been saying for months. His words captured the growing frustration within the WNBA community. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark, it's about a bigger issue, how the league treats its biggest stars, its weak promotion strategies, and its failure to maximize the momentum Clark has single-handedly created. Smith didn't frame this as just a PR blunder. The real problem? A league that seems unsure, or even unwilling, to fully embrace its top-tier talent. In today's sports world, marketable superstars drive success, and right now, Clark is the WNBA's biggest draw. She's breaking attendance records, pulling in TV ratings that rival major men's sports, and bringing a whole new audience to women's basketball. Yet instead of amplifying this, the WNBA appears to be downplaying her success, almost as if it's reluctant to acknowledge just how much of an impact she's making.
It elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about, opining about, acknowledging.
That's exactly why StephenASmith's passionate critique struck a nerve. The stakes have never been higher. The WNBA is at a defining moment, and fans aren't just watching from the sidelines, they are demanding change. They want a clear vision for growth, consistent recognition of the league's biggest stars, and most importantly, leadership that understands the significance of this moment. Without these things, even the most groundbreaking players can only do so much. If the WNBA keeps mishandling these opportunities, the risk isn't just a missed chance, it's stagnation at a time when momentum is everything. Smith wasn't just criticizing, he was sending a wake-up call. Caitlin Clark isn't just a promising rookie, she's a generational talent with the power to take the WNBA to new heights. But for that to happen, the league has to make a choice: fully embrace her rise or continue repeating the same mistakes.
I said Caitlin Clark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist it.
Frustration with the WNBA's leadership hit a new high when Commissioner Kathy Engelbert took the spotlight on national television. Fans and players were hoping for a strong, decisive leader to present a clear vision for the league's future. Instead, they got vague statements that raised more questions than answers. Her recent appearances on 60 Minutes and CNBC's Power Lunch only highlighted a growing disconnect between leadership and the reality of what's happening in the league. Take her 60 Minutes interview, for example. When asked about Caitlin Clark's game-changing impact, Engelbert had the perfect chance to acknowledge and celebrate one of the WNBA's most influential players. But instead of embracing the moment, she downplayed it with a dismissive response: "No league is ever about one player."
I noticed when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries, and you can't do that alone as one.
While technically true, Engelbert's comment felt dismissive, almost like she was intentionally downplaying Clark's impact. Fans quickly took to social media, criticizing the league for failing to properly recognize the very player driving record-breaking viewership, ticket sales, and engagement. Instead of celebrating Clark's success, Engelbert's words made it seem like the league was hesitant to fully acknowledge her influence. The disconnect became even more obvious during her CNBC Power Lunch interview, where she emphasized rivalries as a key factor in boosting viewership. But rather than addressing major concerns, like player safety, officiating consistency, and fair treatment, she relied on buzzwords and marketing jargon. This lack of real substance didn't sit well with fans or players, many of whom have been demanding meaningful changes, not just polished PR statements. The interview only reinforced the growing belief that WNBA leadership is out of touch with what's actually happening on the court.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
This isn't just a perception problem, it has real consequences. While Engelbert talks about using rivalries to drive ratings, players like Caitlin Clark are facing inconsistent officiating, unnecessary physicality, and unfair treatment. Fans aren't asking for manufactured drama. They want a league that values fairness, player safety, and professionalism. If these fundamental issues go unaddressed, the WNBA risks pushing away the very audience that Clark has worked so hard to bring in.